say? There's no answer. Is that right? Is that it? No answer?
I have given an answer.
He's given an answer.
You have given an answer that doesn't address the question.
That's your view.
Very well informed. So I think that is a good sign that here we have an open discussion. It's a difficult adjustment process, but there is an open debate, and there's a debate where economic arguments play an important role, and I think that is how it should be.
This is because the drive produced by electric shock is stronger than hunger. It makes the rat more active and can be reduced more quickly and completely. We have demonstrated that the satiated animal is not innately stupid or lazy. All he needs is a little motivation.
This is the government's program. This is not measures imposed by the Troika. But anyhow, leaving this aside.
I created the impression that everything is wage cuts. No, this is not the philosophy of our program.
So the financial sector would have been affected, the confidence of the financial sector would have been negatively affected, and I can understand that there was a difficult decision, but that the decision was taken in this direction.
Well, it's on Greece. There is no doubt that the assumption that Greece would return to the market proved wrong. The whole external environment, concern about the periphery, changed fundamentally. Creditor sentiments changed dramatically, not because of developments in Greece, but more generally. The Greek program actually, until recently, delivered very impressive results. Now the government has reinvigorated, and I'm sure it will continue to do so. So it's yes, it needs more time. It needs a second bailout because investor sentiments, turn sour. But
Sure whether sort of the postponing the adjustment would be helpful, because the citizens know that it will have to come, and it is clear that the adjustment has to happen. So there's no alternative to it. It's not possible to continue with an uncompetitive economy, because sooner or later the thing would break down.
I'm not quite sure I understand the logic. Seem to think that it would actually be good to increase the minimum wage, but Greece has a minimum wage if you adjust for the fact that it's paid over 14 installment. It has an average minimum wage per month that is 50% above Portugal. That is 20% above Spain. Once you do this adjustment,
I mentioned that on the internet there's lots of people disagreeing with these figures.
These are numbers from Eurostat.
Okay.
So 5 to 7 times above Romania and Bulgaria. And whether it's 50% above or 40% above, or whether it's 20 or 15% above Spain, the fact is that you cannot be surprised that you have countries with youth unemployment of 40% or above if at the same time you force them to be priced out of the market by minimum wages that are out of line with the productivity of the society.
Shock is on.
Nobody is insisting on making changes that will prevent Greece citizens from getting adequate medical services. It's just a myth.
The shock is adjusted to be annoying, but not painful.
What's happening on structural reform? Clearly, the fact that structural reform fell short of what we had expected was a major reason why the programs performed so poorly on as far as GDP and output is concerned. By now, there's been hope that the program that would have produced its critical mass of reforms that would begin changing the investment climate. We get to an inflection point where the improvement in competitiveness, expansion of export would offset the negative impact of fiscal consolidation on domestic demand. It has not happened. The economy has continued downwards, primarily because we have not reached this critical mass of reforms. I do not agree that the first memorandum did not focus on reform. I think the first memorandum focused primarily on reforms, but they were not implemented as expected.
Je fais les comptes et les décomptes. Je compose et décompose. En touchant ce bouton-ci, joue une petite mélodie. En touchant ce bouton-ci, joue une petite mélodie. Je suis l'opérateur du mini-calculateur.
The satiated animal is inactive. Without hunger, food would not be a reward, even if he got it. Therefore, he does not learn. But when a drive is supplied by giving him a mild electric shock, he suddenly starts responding, and quickly learns the response he was making when the shock went off. Motivation and reward are
Crucial.
factors in learning.
And look at the alternative scenario there, where we just have small delays in privatization, small delays in fiscal adjustment, and some delay in structural reforms. So you get a slower boost in potential output, and you have debt clearly remaining at an unsustainable level. There is no room for maneuver in policy slippage. So is there a way out of the crisis? Yes.
Chaos reigns.
The IMF's top economist appears to be backtracking on earlier austerity forecasts, admitting failure to see the grave consequences which the financial measures brought on weaker EU countries such as Greece. People want answers. It's okay to say, you know, we've grown substantially in terms of growth in economics, but the people are still suffering. So how do they answer to that?
I think I have addressed the question.
There's no alternative.
The Troika did not bring any fundamental new insights. Everything that is in this program is homegrown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.